You are watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftacademy.com. www.netsoftacademy.com.
So now let's start with the next lab. In this lab, we will be setting up our Windows client. So for this one, I'll be creating a new virtual machine. Next, next, next. Now this time instead of Server 2025, I'll be going for Windows 11 x64. We are creating a client machine, remember. Next, this will be my NITA WKST01. For location, Exchange Labs, under this. New folder, NITA WKST01. And that folder there. Next. Now, not changing any settings here. Remember, I don't change settings here. Oh, passwords don't match, so it could be a typo on my end. Okay, next. Next. We're not changing anything here either. Next. SCSI. Next. Next. In a single volume, again, this is going to be 320 GB. Next, and finish. Now, once it is finished, I'll be mounting the Exchange server. Sorry, not the Exchange server. I've been so used to saying Exchange server. But I'll be mounting the Windows 11 ISO over here. Now, I have a different ISO than you would have. So just keep that in mind and use the Windows ISO that is available to you. So in my case, I have the Windows license or the Education 24H2, Microsoft Windows 11 Education 24H2 license that I'm going to use here. Now, one other thing that I'll do before I start this machine is, again, this is just a trick. I'm just going to disconnect my NAT adapter for now. And I'll tell you why. I think you already know why. At this point, everybody knows why. But just in case you forgot about it, the simplest answer for that is because Windows 11, once you install it, tries to look for updates. I don't want it to look for updates. I want it to just complete installation. Let me go set it up. So the easiest way to avoid that is turning off the network adapter. When it cannot connect to the internet, it will automatically ask you to just say, hey, I don't have internet. What do you want to do? And then you say, okay, just set up locally. Don't do anything. So again, as you can see, the same exact sequence of steps that we used for Windows Server 2025 are here. You can see that it's the same exact sequence of steps. There's no change here. Okay, now under this, I'll be selecting the Windows 11 Education. That is the license that works for me. I accept the license terms. Now, you might be tempted to try the Windows 11 Pro or something, but remember that those do have their own problems. Windows 11 Education works very well in virtual machines, and I've been testing that and using those for a while. So I honestly recommend those. And now I'll click on install. So now I'll wait for this virtual machine to complete installation. Once it completes installation, then we'll look at the next step. All right, so after the installation, this is where we start off from. Yes. Yes, skip. Now remember that I'm doing all of this for this one particular reason here. This option, if I connected my NAT adapter, I would lose this option. So I said, I don't have internet. So then it will ask me for my name. So I put in NITA admin, password 1350, password 1350. Now, the other option definitely is that you go for a domain join instead and you look at other sign-in options and do everything. But I personally prefer this method because it's a little bit faster and a little bit easier to do. Now, remember, just like how I said every single time, I use a method because it works for me. It doesn't necessarily have to work for you. Remember that. It will not, cannot, or doesn't have to work for you. It works for me because I make it work. If it doesn't work for you, that's because it isn't the right fit for you. So sometimes following the book and doing things according to the book is the best way to do it. I just do it this way so that I can quickly do the demo and also explain to you why I'm doing certain things in a certain order. Now again, I'll wait for this machine to start up. It will, because remember this, it takes a lot of time for Windows 11 to start up, do boot up, do everything, show all the necessary features and everything, because there are a lot of GUI elements to be loaded. So this will take a few minutes. Not this might. This will take a few minutes. Remember that. So I'll just wait for it to show up, and once it does, we'll look at the next steps. So as you can see here, my machine has finally set up, everything is installed, everything is here. Now, one thing that I'll do first is I'll right click, go to the machine settings and connect my adapter, network adapter. Now, everybody has seen the reason why I did that. The only reason I did that was so that I could speed up the installation process. Otherwise, I would be waiting for updates to be installing, and that would be another 20, 30 odd minutes spent waiting. All right, so once I'm here, first things that I'll do is I'll click on Start, go to Settings, and click on Rename right here. Now, you can do it the other way as well. You can, alternatively, just click on File Explorer, right click this PC, click on Properties. It'll take you to the settings page anyway. Scroll down a little bit, click on Domain or Work Group, click on Change, and then you can put in the name here, Nita WKST01. Okay. Now I'll be doing one more thing after this happens here. I'll restart later. I'll not restart right away. I'll go ahead and I will install the VMware tools, because I do want to get it done and restart in one go. Because I do have another restart that I anyway have to do after the domain join. I do have one more restart anyway. So you can see that the wallpaper and everything is all well organized and well set up. That is one thing that you have to give it to them, that they do select good wallpapers at random. Now I'm waiting for the setup to just start. Next, install. So now while this is installing, can I do everything else? Like, can I change the IP address? Can I do everything? Yes, ideally I can. So I'd have to just look for ncpa.cpl, and that opens the control panel item, and I can just do it. But it does not yield to any productive or any positive result, if I'm being quite honest. Now this one would be 172.16.10.50 if I'm not wrong. And let me just double check my IP addresses. Yes. This is. Now, if I had done this earlier, it would have been nice. But you can see that my VMware tools are still installing, they're still processing everything. So I'll restart. Then after it restarts, I will start with the IP address, the firewall, and the domain join. Okay, finish. Yes. However, it will restart very quickly though. That's one thing. That's one very good advantage of this entire virtualized situation here. So we're still waiting for this to restart. Once it restarts, then we will do the other things. Now, one of the things that I want all of you to kind of think about would be, what exactly would you like to make sure that your installations happen much more efficiently? Remember, there is a difference between fast and there is a difference between efficient. Fast is where you give maximum number of resources, you exhaust all of your resources and it completes. Efficient is where you are making good use of your resources, but at the same time, you are not losing anything in the process. You're not sacrificing anything. You get the best of all worlds. So I'm going to log in here. I use the password 1350. Nothing fancy. VMware tools are working properly. We can see that here. You can see everything is looking good. So now I'll go to ncpa.cpl .cpl. You can either do it like this, or alternatively right click on start, click on run, and under run type in ncpa.cpl. CPL stands for control panel object. Once you do that, you can see Ethernet 0 is here. Right click, properties, Internet Protocol version 4, 172.16.10.50, 3 255s, 172.16.10.1 is the gateway, and 172.16.10.10 is the preferred DNS. Now, once I do that, the IP address is changed. Now, I'll do one more thing before I do anything else, and that is install Google Chrome on this. So, I'll right click on the virtual machine, click on settings, click on the cd/d SATA, and instead of Windows 11 now, I'll mount my apps ISO. I'm going to install Google Chrome on this virtual machine. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to install Google Chrome. So, right here I open the ISO Google Chrome, and I run the Google Chrome install application file. Once this runs, it will install the Google Chrome application for me, or the browser for me. And once that is done, I'll turn off the firewall and then domain join this virtual machine. At least that's the idea for now. That's the plan for now. The reason I'm doing this here instead of doing it as the domain join this thing is because I'm logged in as a local admin. If I'm install it on the machine locally, every user who would log in, once I domain join it, will have access to the same applications. So I'm basically baselining my entire system, if I'm speaking quite honestly. Okay, so Google Chrome is installed, perfect. Next, I'll look for Windows Defender with advanced security, this one here. Properties, turn off the domain profile, turn off the public profile, and turn off the private profile. All three profiles I'll be turning off. Apply. Okay, so nothing is working. Very good. Now, click on File Explorer, right click this PC, click on Properties, click on Domain or Work Group, click on Change. Under Domain, select netsoft.com. Now remember, netsoft.com is a FQDN, so it is not case sensitive. So it doesn't matter. Administrator and password 1350. It will say that welcome to the NetSoft domain. Click on OK. Now I'll not be restarting right now. I'll just shut down the machine. And by the way, this is the end of the lab here, where I have domain joined it. I've installed the necessary applications. Everything is done. I'm just going to shut down this machine. And I'll tell you the reason why, because the upcoming lab, we will be taking snapshots. So it's a good idea to shut down the machine right away and then take snapshots. You can take snapshots while the machine is running, yes. But I want snapshots of the machine when they are shut down, because that's a much more stable state. So I'll see you in the next lab. Thank you.
Thank you for watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftacademy.com. www.netsoftacademy.com.